The Hottest 100. Look, I enjoy the Hottest 100 as much as the next person, but it always amazes me just how much some people get into what is essentially a music poll. There's betting odds, there's passionate Reddit posts. One person has even created an online program that collects images of people's votes on social media and is trying to use that data to predict the top 100 songs. But look, at the end of the day, it's very fun and I enjoy it, and clearly I care enough to make a video about it. For those who don't know, the Hottest 100 is an annual music poll which is organised by the Australian radio station Triple J, and it's kind of a big deal. Triple J is a government-funded nationwide radio station in Australia, primarily targeted at a youth audience. The fact that Triple J is nationwide means that no matter if you live in a capital city, or a regional centre, or just about anywhere else across Australia with radio reception, you can listen to the exact same music and content as all other Triple J listeners across the country. Triple J actively promotes Australian music and other independent music, significantly more than its commercial counterparts, making it quite a unique institution. The station has been active since 1975, and the Hottest 100 has been an annual event since 1989. Now, before we get into the three types of Hottest 100 winners, we should go back to that concept of Triple J versus commercial radio. Triple J only makes up around 6% of listenership when it comes to radio in Australia. As such, the majority of listeners are either listening to talkback stations like 2GB, or commercial music stations like all of these. As a result, the general public is predominantly exposed to just top charting hits and well-established artists. And look, that's fine. Not everyone is going to like neo-soul or grime or heavy metal or roots. However, what I find interesting is the crossover between the two realms of independent and commercial radio. A good example of this is Billie Eilish. Triple J have been following and playing Billie's music since 2017. For Triple J, she ticked all the boxes. She's a young, independent female artist who makes unique and interesting music. Triple J first reported on Billie Eilish in 2017. They had her in the studio in both 2018 for their weekly Like a Version segment, and in 2019 when she video chatted some of her Australian fans. However, in the last year or so, Billie has experienced an exponential rise in popularity, and as such, commercial stations have started playing her music as well. So now exists a situation where both Triple J and its commercial counterparts happily play Billie Eilish's music. So even though Triple J generally shies away from playing already established artists, they do still play Billie's music, which I'd imagine is a sort of, we discovered her before she was popular, so we should and can still play her music mentality. The same is true of artists such as Post Malone, Lizzo and Kendrick Lamar. All of them were initially played on Triple J, have since become commercially popular, and now are played by both Triple J and commercial radio. Okay, so enough of the setup. Let's explore that Triple J commercial crossover a bit more as we examine the three types of Hottest 100 winner. And to do this, we're going to be using the ARIA singles charts to examine the performance of each song over the time span of about a year. Let's start with the most common category. Chart toppers. So chart toppers are songs that achieve undeniable commercial success, often hitting number one in the ARIA charts before the Hottest 100 countdown. The life cycle of a chart topper is as follows. Phase 1. The song is released and very soon starts getting regular airplay on both commercial radio and Triple J. Triple J audiences get exposure to the song, but more significantly, mainstream audiences get exposure to the song also. Phase 2. Australian audiences respond to the song positively, which means that marketing teams make radio stations play the song more, which means that listeners respond more positively, which means that marketing teams make the stations play the song more. This feedback loop makes the song rapidly ascend to the top of the ARIA charts, where it stays for several weeks. So both Triple J audiences and mainstream audiences are hearing the song on their radio station of choice, but also when they're shopping at their local Westfield, listening to the top Australian songs on Spotify, or in those annoying 2-second sections of commercial television where they play a trending pop song of the day. Phase 3. People eventually start becoming interested by new music, like the latest mumble rap hit or whatever, I don't know, and start gradually losing interest in the song. Commercial stations still play the song, trying to squeeze every last potential dollar out of it, but they're no longer broadcasting it every 20 minutes like they were just a week ago. Ding ding ding! It's voting time! So here we should introduce our typical Triple J listener, Maddie. Maddie thinks back through the year and adds that chart-topping song as one of her 10 votes, because it was played a lot on Triple J and she quite likes it. She also votes for some of her other favourite songs from the year that weren't quite as popular. She finishes voting and posts a photo of her votes on Instagram. Nice work, Maddie. Meanwhile, Maddie's friend Ben has been scrolling through his Insta feed and has seen Maddie's post about how she just voted in the biggest musical democracy in the world. Ben wants in on this musical democracy thing, even though his favourite station is Nova and he's never tuned the radio to Triple J all year. But that's okay. He navigates to the Triple J website where he's a bit confused. Where is Ariana Grande? Or Shawn Mendes? Who the fuck is the Chats? Ben is stressed. He wants to vote so he can post a photo on Instagram to appear like he's cool and indie like Maddie, but he only knows a few of these artists and only a handful of songs. Looking around for a while, he spots it. Oh, thank God. There's that song that was on Nova all year, the same one Maddie voted for. I'll vote for that. Nice work, Ben. So what's essentially happened is Maddie and Ben have both voted for the same song because both Triple J and commercial media have been playing it non-stop all year. The song accumulates enough votes to win the Hottest 100 for that year. Phase 4. After the Hottest 100 winner is announced by Triple J, commercial media in Australia such as tabloid newspapers, TV shows and other radio stations report on the winning song, and it enjoys a slight bump in the ratings before soon returning to its gradual decline. In the last 13 years, chart toppers are arguably the biggest category of Hottest 100 winners. In 2008, Kings of Leon's song Sex on Fire from their album Only by the Night was released in late August and took 10 weeks to ascend the ARIA charts to number 1, where it remained for 4 weeks. When the song won the Hottest 100, it barely made a difference to its ARIA ranking and continued to slowly decline over the coming weeks. A similar case is true of Gotye's 2011 song Somebody That I Used to Know from his album Making Mirrors, as well as Macklemore and Ryan Lewis's 2012 song Thrift Shop from their album The Heist. In 2016, Flume's song Never Be Like You from his album Skin had an incredible run of 40 uninterrupted weeks in the ARIA Top 50. Interestingly, the spike of renewed ARIA success after winning the Hottest 100 was quite a lot more significant compared to the previously mentioned chart-topping songs. A similar case is true of Kendrick Lamar's 2017 song Humble from his album Damn. Modest Achievers. Modest Achievers are songs that enjoy a moderate amount of commercial success and generally get a boost or second life after the Hottest 100 countdown. Phase 1. The song is released and starts getting airplay on Triple J. Commercial stations are apprehensive and might play it once or twice a week, maybe tucked away in an off-peak time slot. Phase 2. Triple J audiences think this is a pretty cool song, and it becomes a more regular fixture on the station. Commercial stations start playing the songs a bit more regularly, and it starts ascending the ARIA charts. However, for whatever reason, the song isn't quite catching on as much with mainstream audiences as some of the other new songs they're playing. Phase 3. Commercial stations concede that this song wasn't their best pick, and they gradually reduce the amount that song is played. Triple J continues to play the song throughout the year, although perhaps they'll decrease the frequency of plays as new music is released. Ding ding ding! It's voting time! Basically, it's a repeat of the last example with Maddie and Ben, although maybe this time there's a few less mainstream listeners voting, and a greater percentage of Triple J listeners are voting for this particular song. Whatever the reason, it accumulates enough votes to win the Hottest 100. Phase 4. Oh shit. Commercial radio stations are realizing they made a huge mistake by reducing how much they played that song midway through the year. They rectify the mistake by playing the song at least once every few hours, ensuring the song rises again in the ARIA charts. The reason I differentiate this category from chart toppers is because of 2 factors. Obviously, factor 1 is that the song did not really reach the top of the charts, but factor 2 is that after the Hottest 100, the song enjoys a significant boost in the ARIA charts, either matching or exceeding the previous highest rank. In 2009, Mumford & Sons' song Little Lion Man from their album Sigh No More was released in mid-August and took many weeks before beginning to ascend to a high of 16th place in the ARIA charts. As the song began to gradually decline, it was announced as winner of the Hottest 100, where it then got catapulted to 5th place. Angus and Julia Stone's 2010 song Big Jet Plane from their album Down the Way had 2 small peaks during the year and a 3rd peak after the Hottest 100. The Rubens 2015 song Hoops had a similarly modest progression. I wasn't quite sure what to categorise Vance Joy's 2013 song Riptide as. At first glance, it looks good enough to be a chart topper, even though it only reached 7th place here. However, after the Hottest 100, it enjoyed a significant second life, ascending to 6th place and thus beating its previous rank. So I've decided that it belongs in the second category, Modest Achievers. Triple J Exclusives. Triple J Exclusives are exactly as they sound. Phase 1. The song is released and starts getting airplay on Triple J, and then a few weeks later The song is released and starts getting airplay on Triple J only. The marketing team at the commercial stations have heard this new song, but they don't like it and they know it's going to be too weird for their audiences, which will mean that people switch stations and listen to another station's ads for life insurance instead of theirs. Phase 2. Triple J audiences think this is a pretty cool song and it becomes a more regular fixture on the station. The song maybe scrapes in towards the lower end of the ARIA Top 50 chart, but there's more commercially important artists to go above it, like Harry Styles or someone, I don't know. Phase 3. Throughout the year, Triple J audiences keep referring to the song as a tuna sandwich or as a certified bangers and mash. They often ring up Bridget Hustwaite on Good Nights to request the song, which re-exposes the song to the Triple J audience. Ding ding ding! It's voting time! Okay, so here we should introduce you to another typical Triple J listener, Lockie. Lockie is a regular listener of Triple J and a resident of Sydney's northern beaches. He loves that super chill song that Bridget always plays on Good Nights and that people keep referring to as an absolute jam sandwich or as a fucking sweet chili roll or I don't know. And Lockie reckons it'd be perfect listening to it announced as this year's winning song while he sinks a few beers around the pool with the boys over the long weekend. What would be even better is if Triple J rang up his phone during the countdown so that he and the boys could have a non-comprehensive conversation with Bridget comprised of 10% drunkenly slurred words and 90% his mates screaming "You!" in the background. Lockie also tells all his mates to vote for the song and it accumulates enough votes to win the Hottest 100 for that year. Phase 4. After the Hottest 100 winner is announced by Triple J, commercial media in Australia such as tabloid newspapers, TV shows and other radio stations report on the winning song, and the song goes absolutely fucking crazy. No one apart from Triple J listeners have heard the song until now, so it's suddenly new and novel for the other 98% of Australians. All those commercial radio stations who refused to play the song at the start of the year now can't control themselves as they rush to play it multiple times a day, even astonishingly announcing a 7-month-old song as a fresh hit. Lockie's father, in an attempt to connect with his son, ignorantly asked him if he's heard of this brand new song that won the Hottest 100. Apparently they were talking about it on that Drive show on ABC Radio Sydney. Commercial radio stations continue to... Commercial audiences aren't really liking this song. It's a bit too weird and they just want to listen to Eminem or Pitbull or someone like that. I don't know who's popular. So the marketing team rushes to correct their mistake and only allows the station to play the song once a day until it gradually crashes out of the ARIA charts and disappears off the station forever. Triple J exclusives rarely win the Hottest 100. In 2014, Chet Faker's Talk Is Cheap only popped up into the ARIA Top 50 a few times during the year, generally towards the lower end of the 50 songs. It wasn't until the weeks following the win that it shot up to number 6, slowly declining over the following months. In 2018, Confidence by Ocean Alley avoided the ARIA Top 50 altogether until the weeks following the Hottest 100 where it shot up to number 9, again slowly declining over the following months. So there you go. What category do you think this year's winner will be? Will it be a chart topper, or will it surprise everyone by being an unsuspecting Triple J exclusive? Personally, I have my suspicions, but I may be wrong. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and definitely share this video with all the Maddies, Bens and Lockies that you know, and hope you have a good Hottest 100.